What is going on, my people? It is the morning after a huge victory. It don't feel no better than mornings like this after a big game. It's been a while since we've had this feeling. I know this season hasn't gone the way we expected it to go, but guess what? Season is officially saved and a huge win over the 49ers on no other than Monday Night Football. And we're going to get into it.
SKOL'd to the bowl. Whole lot of SKOL'd gang on this one. Yeah. Hey. SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang. SKOL'd on the way to the bowl, man. My team about to go get a ring. We don't care what your team doing, man. They ain't messing with the perp gang. It's our year, time to get this ring. Bring it home back to the SKOL'd gang. SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang. SKOL'd on the way to the bowl, man. My team about to go get a ring.
What is going on, everybody? And how are we feeling after this victory? Usually it's a victory Monday, but we got a victory Tuesday this week. And man, there ain't no better feeling. Sorry, guys. There ain't no better feeling than to wake up the very next morning after a huge victory, especially over the team of the 49ers caliber. And on top of that, doing it on national television on Monday Night Football against the 49ers. So you got to love it, man. This is so uncharacteristic of the Minnesota Vikings to do this. Yes, we've pulled off upsets before. You know, we've been here, playoff wins. We've been here before. We know, but what changes is that it was Monday Night Football. And we can sit here and we can talk about the Kirk Cousins narrative on Monday Night Football. You can talk about whatever you want. But at the end of the day, the Minnesota Vikings just in general aren't good on Monday Night Football. So for us to pull off that victory, not only as the Minnesota Vikings, but with Kirk Cousins leading the way to victory against the 49ers, top 3 defense in the league, torched them all night. Granted, there was a couple passes that were a little inaccurate. You can label the first interception inaccurate, where it was ripped out of Addison's hands, and then you can say the touchdown pass to Addison, the 60-yarder, was inaccurate and behind Jordan Addison. If it wasn't for Jordan Addison ripping that ball out, then it was probably another interception. But outside of those 2 passes from Kirk Cousins, Kirk was lights out last night. But he's not the only one to give credit for. This entire team showed up. It wasn't just Kirk. It wasn't just Jordan Addison. It wasn't just the defense. There was so many elements to this win for the Minnesota Vikings. But before we get into that, let me get some shout outs in. What's up, Big Mo? Cody tapping in on YouTube. Appreciate you tapping in, Cody. Kirk put down the 49ers. That's right. My guy Justin tapped in. If you guys were tapped in with him during his watch party, he brought in the game on his channel. If you don't already, go and hit that subscribe button. What's good, Justin, my guy? Cody again. Cody said Nick Bosa couldn't even get to Kirk. Yes. And credit to the offensive line. Christian Darrisaw on this offensive line, man. Jesus. Now, if I were to say this before the season started or last year, if I were to tell you we would have a top 5 offensive line in the league, and right now they're playing like a top 3 offensive line, and they're not number 3. If I were to tell you we have a top offensive line in the league, you would probably laugh me off the camera. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a top 5 offensive line. Top 5 offensive line. Yes, it was a little shaky the first 2 games of the season, but overall, this offensive line, including Ed Ingram, have played great. They've played great this year with the exception of those first 1 or 2 games. They've played great. And now we're in a position to where Dalton Risner gets his first start of the season. We have our best pass blocking game of the year. How do you sit Dalton Risner now after seeing what this offensive line looked like as a whole especially pass blocking, why would you put Ezra Cleveland back in the game? And that's not necessarily a shot at Ezra Cleveland. Dalton Risner is just doing exactly what all of us on Vikings Twitter and all these Vikings fans that have been clamoring for Dalton Risner to come to the Minnesota Vikings, he's doing exactly what we thought he would do. It just took him too long to get out there. But anyways, let's get to these stats, man. Let's get to these stats. Big one for us, which was kind of a conundrum. Usually we're on the other side of this on a lot of these stats. Third down conversion. San Francisco was 5 for 9, which is not bad. Not bad. 5 for 9. Minnesota 8 for 13, and we were 7 for 10 at one point in the game on third down conversions. The week before against the Chicago Bears, I believe we're 1 for 12, 1 for 11 on third down, something weird like that. And this goes back to what I told you guys before. That Chicago game in Chicago is always ugly. I don't care how good our football team is. That game in Chicago is always ugly, especially for our offense. It's always mucky. The stats are never good. You kind of got to throw that game away. You just want to come away with the victory against those Bears. So throw that game away, throw those stats away. And they showed you last night, getting our first home victory of the season, that 1 for 12 on third down, that's not what this offense is. That's not what this offense is. And we did all of this without our best player in Justin Jefferson. And that makes it that much more impressive. Nobody was missing for the 49ers defense. They had a full-strength defense. Yes, they were out without Debo. Yes, they were without Trent Williams. I don't think the Trent Williams thing was necessarily a big of a deal as much as Debo was. I know we spoke on the Saturday Night Live. We had the special guest 49er fan, Coach Chauncey, on. He said that he's more concerned about Trent Williams not being there other than Debo. I think they missed Debo a whole lot more than they missed Trent Williams last night. 49ers like a lot of those quick passes, screens, slants, quick outs, to where you don't have to necessarily have great pass blocking. And their interior offensive line isn't very good at all. But they missed Debo yesterday. They did miss Debo. They missed his big playability. Because without that, they had Christian McCaffrey, who wasn't 100%, and he still got his. C-Mac still got his. But at the end of the day, they didn't have that big playability. And we got to give this Vikings defense credit as well. We're one of the best defenses in the league at not giving up big plays. And guess what? We gave up one big play yesterday. The Christian McCaffrey dump down where they just caught us off guard. We were in a cover zero blitz, and they dumped it down to Christian McCaffrey, and they had one-on-one with Christian McCaffrey, and I believe it's Byron Murphy. And Christian McCaffrey is going to win that 99 out of 100 times. So you just got to check that one up as an L. Good play call by the offense, bad play call by the defense. It happens throughout the game. But overall, this defense played great. Defense played great. Offensive line played out of their fucking minds. Secondary played great. Cam Bynum. Gee, I can't tell you how happy I am to see a guy like Cam Bynum get the love that he finally deserves. He's been playing great all season long. Now, it may not have shown in necessarily the turnover, interception, stat line, but if you just watch the game, if you just watch this defense, Cam Bynum is all over this field, making open field tackle. I don't think he's missed an open field tackle all year this year. When last year, 2 years ago, Cam Bynum was not a very good open field tackler. I remember complaining multiple times like, God damn, Cam, you need to get this open field tackling together. Well, he told me personally, after week 1, I've been working on my open field tackling all offseason. And it's been showing. And finally, he gets the love he deserves after picking off Brock Purdy 2 times, the last 2 offensive possessions for the 49ers to seal the game for the Vikings. No one deserves it more than Cam Bynum. No one deserves it more than Cam Bynum. Shout out Cam Bynum. After we draft him in, 2020, I believe we drafted him. He was a corner, brought him in to play safety. And every year after that, the Minnesota Vikings have drafted a safety that they planned on to replace him, whether it be Seen, whether it be Jay Ward, multiple players that we brought in to supposedly replace Cam Bynum to put alongside Harrison Smith. And Cam Bynum said, no, this is my spot. And he's gotten better year in and year out. Congratulations, Cam Bynum. You deserve all the love and support. And you know what, goddamn it? Let's get his wife to the States, please. I don't know if you guys saw his post-game interview after he got the game-winning interception. Tom Pelissero was interviewing him, and he said, man, if anybody can help me with the visa, the V1V or whatever they call it, the visa to get over to the U.S., my wife is over in the Philippines. Let's get Cam Bynum's wife over to the States, please. He deserves it after last night's game. What's up, Sean? Appreciate you tapping in as always. Sean the Bomb 16. Let's go, baby. Today I wore my jersey to school. That's right. Wear your purple and gold today. Wear your purple and gold today. Win, win, win. Skol, skol, skol. Let's go. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Always good seeing that name tapped in. One of our favorite names on here. But again, let's go back to the stat line. Like I said, third down conversion, San Francisco was 5 for 9, Minnesota 8 for 13. Total yards, we outgained them. San Francisco at 325, Minnesota 452. Not too many sacks on the day for either team. We did get one sack on the day on Brock Purdy. 49ers with 0. Again, credit to our offensive line being absolutely amazing against a very good 49ers defensive line and one of the best pass rushers in the league in Bosa. Rushing yard, we outrushed San Francisco, which is another surprise. Again, San Francisco is one of those teams that wants to run the ball down your throat. And I said this before the game. If you want to win this game, you got to get up, and you got to get up early, because that forces the San Francisco 49ers to go away from their game plan, which is they want to run the ball and they want to play action off of Christian McCaffrey and take their shot downfield. Well, you build a 10-0 lead. That changes the way offenses attack your defense. And that's exactly what happened. Their first possession, now, granted, it was a 0-0 game. We threw that interception. They got the ball. Their first 4 to 5 plays were all pass plays. And they were moving the ball downfield up until that McCaffrey fumble. But at that point, you move down the field, you're up 7-0. That's the first time the 49ers have been scored on first all season long. So we already got them uncomfortable. They're not in their comfort zone. And they have to change their whole offensive game plan, which I don't think they necessarily did after going down 7-0. I don't think anyone changes their game plan after going down 7-0. But then you make it a 2-possession game. And this San Francisco football team is a very, very good football team. But here's the thing with the San Francisco 49ers. You build a lead on them, they're not necessarily built to come from behind. And we saw that last night. They had plenty of opportunities to do so. And this has nothing to do with their defense. Their defense gives them plenty of opportunities to get back into games and to run away with games like they've been doing all season. So their defense was giving them plenty of opportunities, but you started to see the slight of Brock Purdy and the weakness of this team. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me hook up my charger to my laptop. Sorry about that, y'all. I can't lose y'all in the middle of the stream. I forgot to plug up my charger, but yeah, last night showed that Brock Purdy is an elite quarterback. He isn't a very good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's an average mid quarterback in a great scheme with great weapons around him. But again, like I showed you, or like I told you, you build a lead early in this game and you force them to say, you know what, Brock, you're going to have to sling the ball around a little more today. You can't just hand off the ball and we're up by 10 points and we're handing it off and surprising teams with play action. No, that doesn't work when you're down 2 possessions in the game and you have a mid quarterback. And I've been saying this about Brock Purdy. And again, this isn't a shot against Brock Purdy. He's far better than his draft position. And I think we all kind of understand that. But at the same time, he is benefiting from a great coaching staff. He's benefiting from having plenty of probably some of the best weapons in the league around him, minus one of them yesterday. But it goes to show you that this is a team game. This isn't just a quarterback game. It's not just a quarterback game. So, but the Niners had plenty of opportunities, but our defense played great. Defense played great. What's up, Brian? Thank you for tapping in. Says great win and a disappointing season so far. Still lots of work on including inability to get a yard or two at the goal line. Okay, yeah, let's speak on that. If we want to bring up some negatives, which there wasn't very many in this game. There wasn't very many negatives in this game last night, but there was a few, and we're gonna touch on them. Let me see how much time I got left. All right, I got about 10 minutes left in me, guys, before I got to get out of here. Look, I don't want to see the damn tush push from the Vikings ever again. Never, ever, ever again. If you're not the Eagles, don't run it. Or if you don't have a quarterback that's necessarily got some meat on his bones that can push ahead. And I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is some small, scrawny guy, but it's not a Josh Allen. It's not a Jalen Hurts. Do not do this stupid tush push, brotherly shove bullshit. It's not for us. Let Philly do it. It's not for us. If we're at the 1 yard line, I would have much rathered us play action that shit and give TJ Hawkinson a chance. If I'm being completely honest, throw away that tush push. Stick to the normal QB sneak. If that doesn't work, then hand it off to your running back and go play action. Like, throw that shit out. Throw it out the fucking playbook. Throw it out the fucking playbook. Hey, my guy Rap tapped in. Purple Pocket Podcast. Go hit the subscribe. We did our live stream during the game last night on PSF. That was fun. Had to get a drink in my system. I was feeling it. But yeah, throw that tush push out of our playbook. Throw it out. Throw it out. Yeah, Kirk rocked their ass to bed last night. There you go, Rap. You guys know Rap. I know most of you guys do. You guys know Rap. He's always against Kirk, but we were sitting on that live stream last night, and he said, I got to give Kirk credit, man. Kirk is balling today. Again, like I said earlier in this podcast, it was outside of two throws. There was two throws that were bad throws from Kirk Cousins. And that was the interception where he was looking down Addison, just had to force feed it to Addison. And then the 60-yard touchdown to Addison where Addison ripped it away from the defender. Those were his two bad passes today. Those were his two bad passes or last night. Other than that, Kirk played lights out. Back to the stats. Red zone efficiency, San Francisco was 1 for 2. We were 0 for 2, which this goes back to, again, this should have been a blowout. It shouldn't even have been this close, guys. This should have been a blowout for the Minnesota Vikings. And that goes to show you, this team has the ability to win a lot of games this year. We do. We've just been shooting ourselves in the foot. But as you saw last night, if you don't turn the ball over, now granted, we had one turnover on the opening possession. We got it right back after the Christian McCaffrey fumble. So this team can win a lot of games this year. We can make a run in the playoffs. Will we is a different conversation. That's a conversation in itself. But can we do it? Absolutely. If you sit here and tell me we can't make a run in the playoffs, I don't know what to tell you. We showed it last night. We have it. We're capable of doing it. But you got to do it consistently. Especially what we're doing without Justin Jefferson. I think a lot of people are forgetting that. We didn't have our best player on the field last night. And our offense was lights out. We punted one time, guys. We punted one time. That's without Justin. We've been struggling all year with this offense. All year. We've been looking at KOC crazy like, what's going on, dog? Play calling ain't right. Game management ain't right. Well, I'll fucking tell y'all right now. The play calling last night was great. KOC was in his fucking bag last night with the play calling. He was in his bag. He had the trick plays lined up, which it got called back on some ticky-tack bullshit that they called on KJ Osborne. But again, he had enough parity in his play calling. We ran the ball enough to open up the pass game, which we came out early. First play of the game is a 20-yard Madison run. And I said this during the telecast last night. A lot of y'all want to pile on Madison. And I'll be the first one to tell you right now, Madison isn't an every down back. He's not going to be running back one and take every carry. That's just not his game. He's got to be a guy that shares. And let's be completely honest with you. If you look around the entire league, no one is an every down back unless you're Derrick Henry, which Derrick Henry's not an every down back right now. Bijan Robinson's not an every down back right now. Now, I'm not saying Alexander Madison is Bijan Robinson or Derrick Henry or anything along those lines, but we can't sit here and bash Alexander Madison every chance we get. But when he rips off a 20-yard run, you don't want to say nothing. Like, let's be real. Keep that same energy. Hold him accountable when he's not playing good. But when he is playing good, give him his credit. Give him his credit. But it was great to see an actual running back by committee in this game. Cam Akers got more carries than Alexander Madison did in this game. Madison ended up with more yards and more yards per carry. I believe he was 4.9 yards per carry. What are we talking about, you guys? I'm not trying to sit here and say that Alexander Madison is the best running back in the league or best running back in our division by any means, but the dude's rattling off 4.9 yards a carry, 5 yards a carry. Like, come on. What are you talking about? But again, I love the split of carries between him and Cam Akers. I think that works out perfectly. I think they complement each other great. And I think Cam Akers is a very good replacement for Dalvin Cook because he offers that same type of home run threat, that burst. And we even got to see some Ty Chandler last night. It may not have been in the running game, but in the screen game, and he looked great. He looked great. Quick player stats before we get out of here again. I'm limited on time, guys. Brock Purdy, 21 for 30, 272 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. McCaffrey, 15 carries for only 45 yards and a touchdown. Kirk Cousins, 35 for 45, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a quarterback rating of 107.2. Alexander Madison, 8 carries, 39 yards, 4.9 yards per carry. Cam Akers, 10 carries for 31 yards. Jordan Addison, 7 receptions for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. And TJ Hawkinson, 11 catches for 86 yards. So shout out Hawkinson too. Came up big this finally. We've been waiting for a big game from Hawkinson, and we got one. Man. But overall, you got to be happy with what we saw from this team. This has got to inject some life, some energy, some hope, not only into this fan base, into each and every one of you watching right now. I know we got a lot of negative fans in here, and I could be one of them. But after a game like last night and the win that we pulled off on Monday night, in the way that Kirk played, that this offensive line played, the defense played, how everybody played on this football team, you should be extremely optimistic about going forward in this season. Schedule coming up: Green Bay, Atlanta, New Orleans, Denver, Chicago, Las Vegas. Those are all winnable games. Will we win them all? I don't know. That's a tall task. But all of those are winnable games, and you can find yourself right back in the mix, not only for the playoffs, but for the division as well. So gotta love the morning after a Vikings victory. Again, Vikings win 22-17 over the giant 49ers on Monday Night Football. Gotta fucking love it. Gotta love it for Kirk Cousins. Gotta love it for this Minnesota Vikings team. Season is saved. Gotta love it, guys. Appreciate you guys tapping in. It is your boy SK. Make sure to hit that subscribe and that like button on Purple and SKOL'd Media. We're trying to get those numbers up, baby. But again, appreciate you guys for tapping in. Viking season is officially saved. We're rolling, baby. Let's drink that purple Kool-Aid. Skol Vikes.
SKOL'd to the bowl. Whole lot of SKOL'd gang on this one. Yeah. Hey. SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang, SKOL'd gang. SKOL'd all the way to the bowl, man. My team